That was a 22. It went right over our heads. So we just got shot at.
Got our first knock.
There's a really, really weird noise coming from up there.
Johnny and Danny had planned a simple hiking trip, finishing off with a quiet night of camping. They had the perfect spot in mind, or so they thought. When they arrived, the parking space they were aiming for was already taken by a lone vehicle.
Oh, Lord.
See, now it's not even bad. Now it's pretty decent.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there's somebody down here already.
Uh-oh.
That's kind of spooky.
It's spooky. What are we gonna do?
Well, he's parked exactly where we need to be. Of all places.
Dig.
I'm gonna find another spot.
It was odd, especially since this wasn't a popular area. Still, they pressed on, unaware that this decision would soon have them calling the police. Using maps on their phone, they followed an overgrown trail deep into the wilderness to find their ideal camping spot.
Yeah, we're on the trail. Good God. But yeah, we're going the right way.
I'm getting stuck.
Look at that. This is ridiculous.
It's up past our heads, too.
After bushwhacking a little bit, we found the trail, which doesn't look like much of a trail, but that's it. There's a spot that we're heading to. It's
Hopefully it's clear.
essentially it's in the middle of the woods, and it's a good.
Watch those people from back there be camping where we're gonna be going.
But anyway, the spot is about almost 2 miles from where we parked the truck. Great.
What?
This is what we're dealing with.
But their peaceful hike was shattered when the sound of gunshots suddenly rang out. 2 shots, one flying just overhead. Johnny immediately shouted out to let whoever was there know they were leaving, but there was no response.
Can you hear me? We're heading back the other way. Grab your bag. We're trying to find the trail. We're heading back the other direction. Hurry.
Oh, I'm trying.
Panic set in. They picked up the pace, pushing their way through the dense forest, desperate to get back to their car. Fear surrounded them, and so did the questions. Was it the man from the truck? Was someone out there watching them?
That was a 22. It went right over our heads. So we just got shot at.
There.
So we just got shot at. We were, and I just stopped recording, but there is somebody deep in the woods that direction. Shot what sounded like a 22. Hit a tree about 2 feet away from us. And we were finding a spot to set up, and we had just set our bags down. I set the camera down after I stopped recording, and a bullet, 22, whizzed right above our heads into the tree that we were standing next to. And so I yelled out to him, whoever it was, got no response. Yelled out several more times, got one response, no idea what he said. I wonder if it's that fucking truck.
Then something made Danny freeze. She stopped and immediately dialed the police. They managed to get through and were told officers would be sent to the area. But given the remote location, help couldn't reach them directly. So they made their way out carefully, staying off trail and on edge, until finally reaching their car.
What?
I think that was a rage. Oh my god. My name's Danielle Hogan, but the person you'll be calling is Johnny Hayes. Okay. She's having people come out here.
Like on foot or what?
I don't know. Well, she said with this, she's gonna have people come out here.
Okay, so yeah, just let them know that we're gonna go ahead and keep heading north just a little bit on the trail. Then we're gonna intersect what looks like somebody's driveway because it's the clearest way to get to the clearing, it looks like. But as soon as we get to that point, we will be on somebody's property. So, but that's, I mean, I don't really want to go through the we're too far out for anybody to meet us, so we're having to track back through the woods and make our way over to an access road. But we have to go through all this crap.
To their relief, police were already waiting. One officer explained that hunting season had just begun and advised them to avoid the area at certain times. They took statements and said they'd try to make contact with the other person, but Johnny and Danny never found out who was out there.
As far as like hunting season goes, there's a whole bunch of stuff that just opened up yesterday.
Yeah.
And this whole area, the whole trail area,
Yeah.
it's you can hunt on it.
Okay.
And stuff. I grew up in Pennsylvania. Our hunting season starts a lot earlier out there, and general rule of thumb is we don't really go into the woods after the 15th of September because that's when everything opens up, and
Gotcha.
you got to deal with the idiots, and you got to deal with the people from Jersey.
We had just stopped, and all of a sudden we had one round go right past us, maybe 10 feet, and then another one right above our head, and literally like 2 feet above our head into the tree, and it just sounded like a 22.
I'll go down. I'm gonna see if I can make contact with someone. I saw a blue truck down in one of the areas
I seen the
down
blue
there.
truck. Is the white pickup truck your guys?
Right here.
Okay.
Out in the middle of the woods, they were being shot at. And as any experienced hunter knows, there's no mistaking two people for game. They were lucky to make it out alive. Brian and Emily travel the world in their van, joined by their dog, documenting every leg of their journey. In this video, they headed out into the forests of Canada, completely unaware of what was waiting for them. Their first night went smoothly. They camped beside a stream, played with their dog, and took in the serenity around them. The next day, they ran errands, then set off for a new location, another scenic spot surrounded by trees. But this time, the atmosphere felt different.
Well, I was gonna go chop some wood and start a fire. Now I'm gonna wait till this hail passes. Hell no! We're almost all cleaned up. Can you believe it? It's almost 9 o'clock at night. It's all super bright out. We're gonna call it a night. Good night.
As darkness fell and hail began to batter their van, the peaceful silence turned into tension. Then around 5 a.m., a knock at the van.
Got our first knock.
First knock.
5 o'clock. Why did he want?
You wanted to know what time it was?
Why?
Hey, I don't know if that's really what he wanted, but that's all he's gonna get.
What does he want? It's only 5:30 in the morning.
I don't think he really knows what's going on. Looks a little lost. There's a tent over here now that wasn't here when we went to bed. He just looks really confused.
A man was outside, asking for the time. But something didn't sit right. He kept circling their van, acting confused. What was even more unsettling was the nearby tent they swore wasn't there the night before. Emily felt uneasy, and Brian kept a close eye until the man eventually walked off. They packed up and left the area immediately.
I think maybe he just had a really long night. First time he came by, he said he didn't have his phone. He asked what time it was. He's walking around looking for something. I think he's in this tent over here. He's just kind of moving stuff around, and I'm not that worried about it. Emily is, though.
It's just odd. He knocked on our door at 5 o'clock just to ask what time it was. That's strange.
Not saying he doesn't have other intentions, but watching him, he does look very lost and confused about what's going on, and maybe he really did lose his phone.
We're not at camp anymore. We continued to head down the highway towards the next recommendation that ChatGPT has for us, but we'll get to that in just a second. First, we want to talk about where we are and what happened this morning and why it made us so on edge. Where we are is a stretch of highway from Prince George to Prince Rupert that is also known as the Yellowhead Highway or the Highway of Tears. And the way that it got the name Highway of Tears is pretty dark, unfortunately, as you can probably guess by the name. But when the highway was constructed in 1970, since then, over 80 women, they estimate, have either gone missing or have been murdered along this highway. And unfortunately, a lot of those are completely unsolved.
Later, they expressed how they were parked near a stretch of road known as the Highway of Tears, a place where over 80 women have gone missing, most cases still unsolved.
The highway is extremely remote. There's long stretches between communities. A lot of people hitchhike to get from community to community, and there's also not a lot of cell reception in the area. So, given all of that and knowing about the history of crimes in the area, when we got a knock at 5 o'clock in the morning in this area, it put me on edge.
Maybe the man was harmless. Maybe he just needed a place to sleep. But at 5 a.m., in a remote forest, even an innocent knock can feel like a threat. Trent set out for a peaceful 2-night car camping trip deep in the Florida wilderness. But what started as a relaxing escape quickly turned into something much darker. After searching for the perfect spot in the dark, he eventually found one and settled in. He built a fire, took in the warmth, and listened to the calming sounds of nature.
Hi, we're out here again at a undisclosed location. We're got the fire going, got some charcoal, a little bit of charcoal in there as well. Gonna grill up a couple burgers real quick. Hopefully they come out pretty good. Put some Worcestershire and some Everglades on them, and we should be pretty jam up. Probably gonna make some mashed potatoes as well, and chow down. And then we'll. So we got here kind of late. It was dark. We're having a little trouble finding a good spot, and then we found this one. Got this fire going, and we'll catch up with you guys, I guess, a little bit later. Maybe take a look at the burgers when they're done. You can't really see it at all. So this is the dam. Only dam I know of in Florida. It's pretty wild. So I don't know how well you can see it, but there's, I'm set up here in the car, in the back seat, and I have just a blanket, seats laid down, and made a makeshift pillow for there. Put the cooler to the side. It's just long enough to fit. Been wanting to do this for a while in this car, just to see. It's a little bit cramped. If I took this cooler out, it'd make a big difference, but I just don't really want to put it out. Anyway, I'll catch up with you guys in a bit.
Later that night, Trent climbed into the back of his car, where he had made up a bed, ready to get some rest. But his peaceful night was shattered. In the dead of night, someone began walking around the vehicles and then tried to open Trent's car door. Luckily, it was locked.
I don't know if you guys can hear that, but so I'm sleeping in my car in a parking lot, and there's somebody walking around between our cars. He's walking around both mine and Dustin's. He tried to open my door, but luckily my car was locked. Hopefully he goes away. This is crazy. He's just like looking at everything. He's like looking up against the window. This is crazy.
Trent sat there, hands trembling, as he watched the shadow of a man moving around, peering into the windows. The faint sounds of footsteps and shifting gravel just outside were enough to terrify anyone. Morning couldn't come fast enough. As daylight broke, Trent stepped outside to investigate. He suspected the man had come from a nearby bushy trail next to the cars, a trail they hadn't noticed before.
So here we are in the parking lot here. We just got up. I went to the bathroom a little bit ago, but got up for good now. And there's a trail in the woods, so whatever was walking around the car, it looked like it was up on two legs like a human, but whatever it was come out of this trail and went down into the woods somewhere. I don't know. Definitely not going to be staying here again tonight, though, that's for sure.
Even though he tried to shake it off and spent the day kayaking with friends, Trent made one thing clear. He wasn't staying there again. Eleanor, an experienced solo adventurer, set out on a trip to Dartmoor. A hike to a remote quarry, a sunset swim, and a night under the stars. It should have been perfect. But from the moment she began her hike, something felt wrong.
Beautiful grey evening in the middle of Dartmoor. I wanted to do an evening hike and I was looking on my All Trails app for somewhere really nice on Dartmoor. I also wanted to check out the area I'm in for the possibility of doing a wild camp on a tour somewhere, because I've never actually done one like properly before in the actual wild. And Dartmoor, yeah, Dartmoor would be very interesting to say the least. Whilst I was checking out my All Trails app, I came across this place. And it's an old mining quarry, which is literally, now I'm not too sure if it's this one or there. Beautiful hike with old buildings and stuff like that. Getting a bit boggy, but worth it. It's all right. I don't want to get kicked in the face by a sheep. Oh, it's all right. It's okay. Hello. Yeah, this definitely looks quarry-like, doesn't it? I think we might be nearly there. Oh, hey, Trip. Oh, you have... You have got to be kidding me. It's quite eerie, actually. Yeah, I don't... Hello? 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 Yeah, I don't think that there is anyone else here, apart from the sheep.
The air felt heavy, the woods too quiet. But determined, Eleanor pushed forward. She reached the quarry and went for a cold swim, surrounded by nature. But the eerie silence never lifted.
Oh God. The rocks are quite high and jagged. It's not overly deep. So you've got to be careful where you're putting your legs, really, or kicking your legs to swim. Oh, this is so nice though.
There's a really, really weird noise coming from up there. I don't know if someone's wild camping and pumping up something, because that's what I can hear. It sounds like that. Either that or it's extremely loud, heavy panting. God, I hope it's someone wild camping.
Then after drying off, she heard it. A panting sound. Low, distant, but unmistakable. She froze, hoping it was another camper nearby. Later, while making her way back to the car, she became disoriented and lost track of the trail.
I don't know if I can get down here. Oh no, I can. Where's the car park? It's in the distance over there. No, how do I get down? Oh my God, I didn't even know that was there. Where the hell is the car? Okay, so that's the stream. The car is underneath those trees. How do I get around this? I'm gonna have to go up here. I'm trying to get this tree area here. If you remember from the beginning of the video, there's a little stream that runs through. Trying to navigate it without falling into the water. This is kind of camouflaging itself right now. I need that little stream that I walked over at the beginning.
Panic set in, but she eventually found her vehicle and camped nearby. The next morning, she admitted to her viewers that she'd never felt that watched, that unsettled, and she wouldn't be returning to Dartmoor anytime soon. Sometimes, your instincts are the only warning you'll get. Stu and Jane live full-time in their van, documenting their travels and sharing their adventures with the world. But one of their stops in Rosscarbery Pier, Ireland, ended with them fleeing in the middle of the night.
So this episode, like many others in our Irish series, is where we get to the part of the day where we need to search for a place to stay for the night. So in this video, we eventually find what we thought was a great spot. Stu finds another target park-up on Park for Night near Rosscarbery down by the pier. Recent feedback seems to be okay, although there's a few comments about noise at times. But we're out of season, so we decide to give it a go for the night.
Turn left now.
The approach follows the tidal estuary. And it's a dead-end road ending at the pier, and it's a really beautiful spot.
Their first night was peaceful. A quiet spot by the water, a relaxing walk, and the comforting crash of waves against the rocks. They went to bed under the stars, expecting another peaceful night ahead. But the second night was different. At around 11 p.m., Jane was jolted awake by the sound of voices outside the van. Then, a loud bang.
Good morning. We've woken up in a slightly different place to where we went to sleep last night. which was over there about for 2 or 3 miles, to be honest. We went to bed, I don't know, 9:30 probably by the time we got into bed. Fell asleep, and I think it was about 11.
Yeah, it was.
Now I didn't wake up. You heard something, didn't you?
I heard, it was so windy, I heard a car.
And by the way, before Jane goes on, is that this is pitch black on our own. I think that's the key thing. There's
right
nobody else
at the
there.
end
Right at the
of
end. We're on our own. We're at the end of a long,
really long road. They've got
middle of nowhere. We're on our own.
Yeah, and we heard, I heard sort of a car in the wind, but I sort of didn't think any more about it. And then I was sort of half asleep, and I thought, God, I can hear voices. And the next minute, there was an almighty bang on the back of the van where my head was. Yeah, so.
And I think when I must have somehow in that I heard something or heard you stirring, because I woke up just at the time where I could hear a voice outside, a car, and then there was this massive, what felt like a huge bang hit.
She woke Stu, and he quickly turned on the lights, making it clear someone was inside. Footsteps scrambled away, and when things calmed down, they saw someone had thrown an egg at their van.
No, I chucked an egg at the van.
Little shits. They must have known we were here. You don't just happen to drive down here. I reckon it was those 3 kids. Little shits. What do you want to do?
I don't know. You don't sound so. What do you when it's like that?
Well, we're not going to let it get to us.
I'm not going to sleep much tonight, though, are you?
No. Do you think we should move on?
I went out because I think I knew they were driving away. But it's all in a split second, these things happen, so you're not quite sure what decisions you're making. So I've thrown an egg, by the looks of it, at the van. Don't think it's damaged. So they'd obviously thrown...
It really made a very loud... In fact, I don't know whether they pushed the van, because the van moved.
I think they were quite close to it.
It wasn't through an egg.
But at that point in time, we then got back in the van. We weren't panicking, but we had to make a decision. You know, do we stay or do we go? So, well, they might come back. So, I don't think we'll sleep if we don't move.
No, but then what if they...
We're going to have to move stuff.
What if they follow us?
They won't follow us. We'll just watch.
It could have been worse than an egg.
Well, they might have damaged it. It's difficult to say. I don't think it'll be an egg like that. It's smashed all.
Well, it made a hell of a sound for an egg, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, did you hear anything? I mean, I saw...
No, I heard voices. And then,
I heard the car drive up, but I was half asleep.
I think we move because they might come back.
Yeah.
So to do this, we'll leave the bed where it is. So just go all the bed that way.
Okay. Isn't it? Is that too much? Yeah. So.
I've got to know where I'm going first.
It might have been harmless this time, but the tension, the uncertainty, and the feeling of being targeted were enough for them to pack up and leave immediately. Sometimes, listening to your gut is the only protection you have. Matthew and his dad were wild camping in Glacier National Park, completely surrounded by dense forest, when something terrifying unfolded.
Yep, stick on. Should we hay bear them or do they see us? I mean, let's just casually talk. I think that's good. Okay. Just casually talk. They see us. They see us. They hear us. They're just playing. We're just playing. So yeah, I think I'm pretty good to get a move on sooner than later. Yep.
As they were settling in, movement in the distance caught their attention. 2 massive bears entered the clearing, slowly circling them, staring, watching. Matthew and his dad kept calm, speaking in soft tones, hoping to show they weren't a threat. The bears lingered, pacing nearby, before eventually retreating into the trees.
Hey, bears. Hey, bear. Hey, bears. Hey, we're good. We're good here. We're good. Hey there. Yep. Yep, we're good. You're just curious. Just slowly, don't go towards them. Hey, bears.
But Matthew couldn't shake what he saw, the speed at which they vanished. If they had chosen to charge, there would have been no time to react, no chance to escape. He stopped filming after that. And though no one was hurt, the encounter was a chilling reminder of just how fragile life in the wild can be. Some of these people made it out safely, but none of them walked away unchanged. Which encounter stuck with you the most? Let me know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more terrifying encounters. Just remember, in the woods, it's not always the wildlife you need to fear.